let's
You're
talk
gonna catch
about
my
it.
reaction
The
real time.
sign that irritates Scorpio the most.
And vice versa. Because that sign is irritated by Scorpio the most, right? But we can't get enough of each other? Is that what it says?
Yes, but we love it.
Okay, but they love it.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Virgo.
Oh! I knew it! That's the only one where I was like, don't do Virgo. Anything but Virgo. I can't.
You know it was going to be.
Fresher than a muff. It's like they can't demonetize me because I didn't say it. I said muff.
Muff.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, y'all.
Hi.
Happy Friday.
Happy freaking Friday.
Also, happy Black History Month. I just gotta, say
Happy Black History Month. Yes.
We made this shit,
I was thinking about it, and I saw this meme on Twitter that was like, why is Black History Month the shortest month?
No, it's true.
And it didn't sit right with me once I read that. I'm like, why did they do that? No. I'm sure there's like an actual reason. Mm-hmm. I don't know what is actually.
No, I actually don't
why
know.
It's February?
No, I don't know why February is. I felt like it is the continued disrespect to like Black people to pick the shortest month because Martin Luther King's birthday is in January. So like, why wouldn't you make? You know what I mean? Like, if you wanted to, I don't know.
But then I feel like it can't be January either because January everyone's like sober and like it's not really jolly in other ways.
No.
So I feel like it would have to be like March or something.
Yeah, it should be like March.
But that's Women's History Month.
It is.
See,
I don't know who like picks these things. I don't know who picks these things.
But I will say February is such a joyous, like it's the month of love too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like February is a fun month to me. Yeah. But I did notice how it's the shortest one.
Yeah. No, it's rude.
Fuck you, America.
Right.
And honestly, I feel like ever since Aquarius season started, I've just been feeling like myself. And I say this as someone who's a Capricorn rising, so I am in my element in some ways during Capricorn season in the sense that I have my shit together and like while everyone's drowning, I feel like I'm killing it. No big deal. Yeah. But I will say I still feel that like serious energy. And as soon as it hits Aquarius season, I definitely feel like everyone else is feeling better. Yeah. So it automatically translates to like how I feel, you know? 100%. You feel the energy of the world. Of the people around you.
February 1st, I just instantly felt lighter when I woke up. I was like, I'm happy today. And I don't know
today
why.
Today was a good day.
It did not drain me.
No, seriously. Suddenly, I feel alive. No, truly. Genuinely. And I genuinely have, like, you, my boyfriend, my other best friend, like, Aquarius placements around me. So I feel like I feed off of the people closest to me's energy, which is normal, I feel like, for everyone in life. So I feel like my Aqua placement friends and family and, lover are just feeling themselves in Aquarius season. And it makes me very happy. I love to see y'all shine.
Yeah, we love to get a little weird, be a little different. Do what we want to do. Yeah. I feel like during Capricorn season, I feel like I do the things I feel like I have to do, that I should do. Not necessarily things that I want to do and that make me, like, happy and feel free.
Yes. Abso-freaking-lutely.
And I know that it's already Aquarius season, like, but y'all get what I'm saying.
No, for sure. Speaking of Aquarius energy, so I have been watching the new, it's called That 90s Show, which is like the new That 70s Show. And That 70s Show, to those of you that don't, like one of my favorite sitcoms, whatever you want to call it, like ever. Like I remember watching it with my brothers growing up, us just cracking up, me being high, thinking, do they know that I also partake in this? Probably not. Right. But you know what I mean? But like I felt like every time we would laugh together, me and my brothers, in my head, I'm like, they would be okay with me being high right now. But I would never say that out loud. Right. But in my head, I'm like, they're about it.
Obviously, like, if you're laughing at the jokes,
because we're so fucking funny. They're high right now. Right. You obviously endorse this behavior.
Exactly. You're cool with it.
Anyway. And, I've been loving it. Me and my boyfriend have been watching it together, That 90s Show, and I had kind of high expectations, but also I feel like I'm the kind of person where I don't go into like remakes or the second movie or third movie thinking like it's going to be so good, because I like to be honest with my expectations. In life, I have been disappointed a lot, especially as a child. One of the things I taught myself is to stop having such high expectations when it comes to things when you don't know how it's going to go. You know what I mean? Things that you don't have control over, like relationships, jobs. You should have high expectations because, you know, you want to be in the best relationships. You want to have a good job, whatever it may be. But like TV shows, shit like that, an experience, a concert, a trip, you really don't know how it's going to go. So you can really protect yourself by not having such high expectations and just kind of go into it with a fresh, open mindset. And that's what I did with this show. And it pleasantly surprised me. I fucking love it.
Nice.
And I just love that, like, Red and Kitty are still in there because I feel like it makes me feel that, like, nostalgic feel.
Yes.
And the other characters from that 70s show come, too, but they're not, like, they're every episode, obviously. But the only one that's not there is the actor who plays Hyde because he did some crazy, creepy shit. So go Google it. And a part of me broke when I found that out because Hyde was actually like one of my favorite characters. Like, I love the fact that he's always talking about fuck the system.
I felt like he was an Aquarius.
He was. And I said that in our Aquarius video. If you watch our like Aquarius energy video where we did a whole series where we talk about each sign and like people that remind us of, you know, that sign. And Hyde was one of mine. And I'm so sad that that happened. But anyway, I feel like with the new series, you can kind of tell that each new character is supposed to remind you of one of the old characters. Like, they have, like, similar personalities.
I get what you're saying.
And the girl that kind of reminds me of Hyde, I love her, and I feel like she's such a fucking dope-ass friend. And also, I feel like she, again, doesn't give a fuck about what's considered normal in a very Aquarius way and is okay with breaking the rules. And more than anything, like I said, prioritizes her friends. Which is like the most Aquarius shit I've ever heard of.
Literally.
Like, fuck the government, fuck the rules, but I'm gonna ride hard for my friends.
Right. This is my chosen family.
Literally.
I fuck with you.
Literally.
Because, you know, they don't fuck with everybody.
They absolutely don't. They don't have time for it. If they
really don't.
You could either fuck with everybody or you could save humanity.
And they would rather save humanity.
But I feel like Aquarius is pretty good, like Gemini and Libra, where like they can make people feel like everyone feel like they fuck with them. But underneath it all, they don't have that much of a tolerance for most people's personalities. They only like a select few that they can actually be around in long periods.
I mean, I feel like the air signs are really good at making other people like them, even when they don't necessarily like that person.
Right.
It's a real skill.
It is. I feel like it's because they ask people about themselves.
They do.
And they're able to hold a conversation.
Yes.
You know, like, who would have thought talking to people, asking them questions would make them like you? But it's the truth. Like, if you want to learn how to be a social person and someone that people feel comfortable around, just ask people some questions.
Yes.
Because it's sad, but sadly enough, not a lot of people ask people questions. So when you ask them questions about themselves, how their day is, where they came from, you know, what was their upbringing like whatever, their favorite sports team, they feel like you are interested in them. So it makes them like you.
Feel more comfortable, so they tell you more about themselves. That was actually one of my favorite things that my granddad always used to say is, like, ask people questions. Like, be more of a listener rather than a talker. You're going to learn so much more about people, obviously, and probably also about yourself by listening more and asking questions rather than you being the one talking. Yes, there's a place to be sharing, you know, your feelings, and I definitely want that for people who maybe tear on the edge of not on the other side of it. But for people who, like me, who normally take the lead with the conversation, like, maybe listen more because you're gonna learn a lot more by listening.
I absolutely agree, and I feel like when you're listening more, you are able to process how you feel about what is being said. Whereas if you're filling up the silence with the thing that you're comfortable with, which is talking, you don't really have a chance to process with yourself about what's going on, what the situation is, how you feel about, you know, about this, about whatever this topic of conversation is. Whereas if you're always leading it, you don't get to check in with yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're always speaking it out loud. And I feel like the voice we have with ourselves when we're, alone is so different than the voice we have when we're talking to people. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you're fake, but I'm saying it's just a different part of you. Mm-hmm. When it's just you, and, they say if you talk to yourself, people who talk to themselves can be very, very intelligent. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, if you're able to process what's happening around you in a social situation by just staying quiet, you're kind of talking to yourself. Mm-hmm. How do I feel about this? Mm-hmm. Do I agree? Oh, interesting that they think that way because I don't. But why don't I?
Yeah.
It's so important to listen to people. They might change your mind about things that you have traditionally always agreed with or disagreed with, which might lead you to the life path that you're meant to be on. But you have to listen to people to be interested in that.
Yes.
In that different life path and that different ideology.
Mm-hmm. And kind of like also in our last episode, sometimes you need to let people talk to tell on themselves a little bit too,
Ding,
There's
ding,
a
ding.
lot of power in that as well.
Maybe I love saying that.
You're in a situation, where you're like, I'm not so sure. Let people fill in the blanks for you rather than you know what I mean? Like trying to fill it in with your own voice.
Right. I think the thing is sometimes people feel dumb when they don't have a response right away or if they're not filling up the silence with more words. Mm-hmm. And I want everyone to get comfortable within that quiet space. And at the end of the day, all you have to do is just be quiet before you respond in order for you to have the most authentic response. Mm-hmm. If you feel like you have to reply, you're kind of rushing yourself to reply rather than think about how you really feel.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think everyone's just so nervous. They're like, well, if I don't say anything, I look stupid. And it's like, no. Like, take a breather, express yourself, take your time. And sometimes, like Maya said, in the meantime of you doing that, someone will say some other shit that's going to incriminate them even more. You know what I mean? And that's not on you. They just so happen to do that all on their own.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of like a win-win. Mm-hmm. Give yourself the time to think about how you feel and also give them the space to maybe explain it further, aka incriminate themselves. If it's this, it's the type of situation where, you're fighting.
Right.
Or an interview.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, sometimes you just never know what can happen when you are silent around other people and the information that you're going to get. You know what I mean?
Really
you may not even know that you're about to get some incriminating info, know?
Listen.
You may not know.
It's a wild card, like in Uno.
I'm just
you know what I mean? It's a wild card. You
Exactly.
don't know what's going to happen. But if you don't give some silence, nothing will happen.
Right. Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
For real.
Yes.
Oh, God. Air signs would definitely learn something from that.
Yes.
I feel like air signs
and fire signs.
And fire signs. They get obviously excited for different reasons to express themselves, which I love. It's one of the things that makes you guys such social creatures. And you guys usually make water and earth signs comfortable, if they're close to you and they trust you and they see you doing your thing. Water and earth signs will be like, oh, like, that's my social friend. Like, ooh, like, let's do our thing. Because, like, when they're there, they'll, like, fill up the silence for me. So I don't want it to always talk about it like it's a bad thing because actually you make people comfortable by doing that. But also if you feel like you're an air or a fire sign and sometimes you feel like people aren't always telling you how they feel, well, have you ever given them the chance?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you ever created that space for them where you kind of take the back seat while they express themselves?
Mm-hmm. No, truly. And I feel like sometimes, at least me as a fire dominant and also air sign, being, I feel I word vomit a lot. And I know a lot of my fire sign friends and air sign friends also will word vomit a lot, where they're just like speaking too quickly and it's like, oh, I didn't necessarily mean to say that. And now you maybe offended someone or you didn't mean for the conversation to go in that way, Yeah. And again, pausing for a couple of seconds to respond to someone is is so powerful for us and really necessary. I was telling Sarah, like, just the other week, I have a boss who I work with who works and communicates with me very slowly. And I'm always trying to move, like, really fast. And I'm like, okay, here's my agenda, and I want to talk through the things. And every time he chats with me, he just speaks really slowly. And I feel like a crazy person sometimes for, like, talking so fast because his energy is just so calm and slow moving. And I'm like, oh, yeah, like, I don't have to move a mile a minute. And I want to remind my fire sign, air sign friends that you don't have to be moving a mile a minute. Like, we shouldn't be moving a mile a minute. You know, even though that sometimes feels comfortable for us, like, it's good for us to slow down too. You know?
Like, I feel like it just kind of goes back to the point I was making in the sense that you want to let people know that you know what you're talking about and that you're on top of it and, you know, you have an answer or you have a solution or you have something fun to talk about because you're the fun person that has stuff to talk about. Yeah. Like, whatever it may be. And I feel like we just need to remember there's so many other ways we can communicate rather than verbally. And if we just, you know, give ourselves that chance, maybe people will feel our emotions. Maybe people will feel our energy, and maybe they'll give us the better response if we actually communicate with them through our energy and our emotions. Sometimes our words aren't able to actually express what we're feeling and the energy that is surrounding us. And I think we forget that because of how important language is. Yeah. And especially in a world like today where technology is very present, I feel like we all want to chat, talk, express ourselves. And while I think it's so important to do that, I think that's why, like, meditating is so important. That's why just being in your own safe space, being silent is so important because you really get to intuitively figure out how you feel. You know?
No, for sure. You're so right. I feel like in some ways we're, like, overstimulating one of our senses, and it's like making the other ones dim down at the same time. It's like our communication is so overly stimulated, and we do that really, really well. But what about our feelings? What about our taste, our feel with other human beings? I genuinely feel like a lot of us could agree that society is lacking that in so many ways.
It is.
You know?
Well, that's why I feel like it's not news that I feel like but a lot of people are lacking empathy. And I have a feeling if we were communicating more emotionally, intuitively, spiritually, that empathy wouldn't be so far gone. Yeah. That, you know, that need for, like, creating a safe space for everybody, it wouldn't be such, like, a far off idea for society because we feel each other. We can feel when someone's going through it. We can feel when a certain demographic or people are being pushed to the edge. And we can't help but want to bring them back to a safe space. And, you know, a lot of people are like, well, you know, we just live such different lives and, you know, the 1% will never feel how we feel. Like, that's just one example, right? Well, the 1% probably doesn't feel anything that we feel. Yeah. And think about how much more empathy people can have if we were to just feel each other more. And maybe I just sound so dumb for even thinking that that's possible. But I feel like if we were to feel each other's emotions, we would be we would have more of a sense of urgency. Yeah. To create a safer space for everybody.
100%. But I feel like, too, once we do that, I almost feel like our society, our government doesn't want that because then we start caring about each other and then we have to start making changes in our government and our society. Yeah. You know, because we realize, like, oh my God, I care about you as a person. This isn't okay. Right. You don't have food. You don't have a bed to lay on tonight. And, like, when you know the person who's homeless, like, or whatever the situation may be, it hurts more, and you feel obligated
so bad
to make a stance, to make a change, and that's exactly why they keep us in this space. You know what I mean? They don't want us to be connecting in that way, and I feel like we see it a lot again in our society and even in our education. How we are educated, we don't talk about that emotional level of it, right? It's just we just learn about science. We don't learn critical thinking really. Like, I didn't learn about critical thinking until I got to college, and I only got like 1 or 2 classes on that. You know what I mean? And I feel everyone should have that because it literally taught me how to learn and think for myself. Otherwise, everyone out here is just regurgitating information. Right.
No, it's so true.
And again, I want to like emphasize how I really feel like so much of our society really puts, in some ways it is good to put an effort on science and the physical science. But what about like the mental and the things that we cannot physically see?
Spiritual, emotional.
You know what I mean? There's so much more to it than just the things that we see.
It's true. Well, I mean, in order for people to do that, we would all have to agree that spirituality matters, and spirituality is different than religion. You know what I mean? Because then when you bring on the topic of religion, well, everybody believes in their own thing. Well, we're not talking about religion in terms of separation. Like, you know what I mean? There's Islam and Christianity and Judaism and all these things. Like, we're talking about spirituality. That is the base. Spirituality was here before religion was here. Because guess what? Before religion was invented, people still felt spiritual. People were still feeling some sort of connection to the divine, whatever that may be for you. And you kind of felt compelled to understand life outside of yourself on earth. You know? And I don't know. I feel like I wish there was a test for people to take in order to determine their emotional intelligence. And if you didn't pass said test, you had to go to some sort of school to understand it and be more empathetic to the people around you.
We would be a much better, happier society.
I just could go back to middle school and we could all just bake cookies
and hold hands and see how much we love each other. Tomato. No, genuinely, I feel like everyone would agree, though. Like, I feel like they focus so much on, like, the body and the mind. What about the soul? You know, there's three. You know, there's the three poi. There's the three poi.
Truly.
And you can't really be connected without the other.
No, it's so true. And honestly,
I feel like they try to keep it disconnected.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, even us with ourselves, I feel like in order to be the best version of ourselves, we need to understand ourselves, right? We need to understand that, like, okay, the decisions I'm making, the feelings I'm feeling are coming from me, not from what society's telling me to feel, not from the person that I was with last night telling me to feel. Like, what do I want to do? Who am I? How do I want to feel about myself and about life? And, like, those questions are very, very scary, and not a lot of people have the courage to even go there. Yeah. But I feel like if we were to understand those fundamental questions about ourselves and about, you know, how we are, how we operate, what we want to do with our life, how are we feeling right now? What does that mean about me? What am I still going through? What am I not releasing? All these things. If we were to have the courage to understand these things, I feel like we would just be better people. Yeah. And better humans and be more empathetic. Because once we try and figure all this shit about ourselves, we would look at other people and be like, hey, they're also trying to do that for themselves. Hey, that thing that they did, it wasn't personal. They're trying to figure out how they feel about life. They're trying to figure out who they are. Yeah. They're trying to figure out if the trauma that they're dealing with has been released yet, or if it's something that they still need to work on. Like, you know what I mean? Those are just very small examples. And I just wish that we were nicer to ourselves is what I'm really trying to get at. Yeah. Because, again, it comes back to if you have more empathy for yourself, you will have more empathy towards everyone else. Like, that's just how it works. And it's not a hot take, you know, these haters, trolls, people that are mean to you, aggressive people, whatever it may be, like, that's how they feel about themselves. Yeah. Once you learn that, you won't take it personally because, you know, like, shit, the way you treated me, like, that's how you treat yourself? Like, damn, that's like, rough.
Must be hard to live with you every day.
Exactly. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. In my lowest of times, when I'm being toxic, I'm like, dude, like, that's how judgy you are to yourself. Like, Sarah, like, come on. Like, don't do that. You deserve better. Like, everyone does that to themselves. Some more than others, but it's all about just, like, figuring out, like, okay, how can I incorporate self-love into my life every day, into my routine every day? Because once I start doing that, ultimately it will lead you to live a better life, because you will have more empathy for other people.
Yeah.
And you'll know it's never personal. Them being mean to you, them being rude to you, it's not personal. They're dealing with their own demons.
100%.
All you can do is just get your energy right and know what your energy feels like every day. So if anyone, you know, tries to
fuck it up.
Exactly. You know it's not you. You know that's what the energy they're dealing with.
My energy good.
Exactly. And send it back to them. And send it back to them. Or the opposite. You're having a bad day. Someone's having a jolly day. You're giving them some negative energy. You could be like, you know what? They were being nice. And I did wake up on the wrong side of bed this morning. And now I'm being angry and bitchy and rude. So I'm just going to take that back to me because I'm probably not in a social mood today. It's important for you to do that. Protect society. Protect your people. And if your cup is full, you're happy, go give it to society. Go give it to your people.
Give it back. Don't just like keep it and sit on it by yourself. No, I'm actually so happy that you said
like
that.
Energy currency.
It is exactly.
Give it to the people.
Currency.
You got good energy currency. You're feeling lovely. You're feeling happy. You're feeling joyous. Give it to the people. You have negative energy currency. You're feeling toxic. You're feeling jealous. You're feeling angry. Go to yourself. Figure out why you're feeling this way.
What triggered that to begin with?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. No. 100%. And energy is 1,000% a currency. So
it's
make
transferable.
Sure you're careful with who you are sharing it with as well. You know, because you can't get time back, man.
You can't.
You really can't. Time is the most precious thing. And it's so funny because I never thought about it in that way when I was younger. You know, just like, oh my God, every day.
I have so much time. I
got so much time. Another day is promised. I really actually like operated like, yes.
My earring's gonna fall.
I don't know why.
I swear I have an earring, but don't forget your train of thought.
Yes. I thought literally every single day was promised.
Yeah.
And with that, like there is like an innocence, but as I get older, like, and you lose people and people get sick and, you know, like you lose people to death and you lose people not to death. Yeah. Always like just from like friendships and breakups.
They're grieving in different ways.
Yeah, like it makes you value time so much more.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's something that you really cannot ever get back. So make sure you're careful with who you're spending it with. That's something like I just cannot emphasize enough that it took me such a long time to realize this. But I'm so happy that now that I do.
Yeah. It's true.
So you just can never get that time back.
You really can't. Be aware of it, but I also want to say after it's already happened, there is also no use in thinking about time wasted.
Yeah, don't stress about it.
Because it's already done. And it's usually a negative experience in the past that makes you think about time wasted, but at the end of the day, I feel like when you're thinking about a situation in the past, instead of feeling annoyed that, you know, you wasted your time, that was a learning lesson. You can't sit with God, universe, whoever you believe in, and be like, why did it take that long for me to learn that lesson? It already happened. So just understand that for you, that's how long that chapter needed to be. That's how long that lesson needed to be. Who are you to ask the universe why it was that long for you?
No, 100%.
The universe said 2 years. The universe said 3 months. The
5
universe
years,
said
whatever.
10 years. Whatever. Get over it, okay? You still got time. You're not dead. If you're listening here, you're not dead. So fucking make the best of it of the time you got left.
Truly.
People meet the loves of their lives at the age of 90. Do I know someone like that? No, but I know they do. I know what happens.
No, they do.
What do you think is better? Someone meeting the love of their life at 90 or never? Dying at the age of 20?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, pick and choose what you want, people.
Right.
But I'm saying to me, I'm like, at least they met.
I agree.
Or whatever it may be. Or let's say you finally found the career you love at the age of 50. It's better than never finding it. In my opinion.
I could not agree more. This life is meant to be lived. You fail, you succeed, you cry, but you live it. You know what I mean? And I also want to say, this is something that gets me through my hard times. You know, you made that decision because that's what felt comfortable for you at that time. And to be hard on yourself of like, oh my God, why'd you do that? babe, you were comfortable. Like, that's okay. And you did what was best for you genuinely in that moment.
Right.
And if you didn't, or you felt like you didn't now in retrospect, you know how to act differently moving forward. That's not something for you to think back on then, because those weren't your feelings then. You know what I mean? Again, you were operating the best that you could in that moment, in the truest heart of yourself. Otherwise, you would have acted differently or done otherwise.
Yes.
That's all I got to say about that. And live in that truth, you know?
You're so fucking right. Sometimes I wish we could, like, I feel like it would be nicer if we could look back and be like, you know, I remember my past in terms of not making the same mistakes. But I wish we could, you know, shut off the switch of like, but why?
Yeah.
But why?
Literally.
It's that fucking
but why kills
why?
you.
That's the fucking like, who gives a literal fuck why?
Literally.
Like, this why question is honestly the most annoying thing. Yeah. Like, I want us to be able to use the question why for present, future. I don't think we should be able to use it for the past.
No. Oh, that's good.
You know what I mean?
Good.
Can we erase the question why about the past?
No.
Because what is that going to do?
That's good.
Unless you literally have a time-traveling machine, which you still probably shouldn't be using because we've learned from every movie that actually changes the future, so you can't be using it. So what is the point of the why?
No point.
It don't matter.
No point.
It happened. Get the fuck over it.
Get the fuck over it.
Get
That's
the
what
fuck
she said.
over it. It's done. Live your life. I got that drink in my cup. Yo, do you remember that song? I got that drink in my Kurt Cobain. Was that his name? What's his name? Is that
Kurt Cobain or something? Kurt Cobain. Kurt Cobain is a rocker from...
So it's not Kurt Cobain.
It's not Kurt Cobain, no.
So what is his name?
Kurt Cobain or something. I don't know.
Something similar, right? You said damn near the same fucking thing. You said not Kurt Cobain, Kate Cobain. I'm like that's not literally what I said. I believe you that I'm wrong, but I just think that's funny because yours was not any better.
No, it sounded very similar, and I felt like it was very good. It's the same. I
want everyone to know, I'm not saying Kurt. I'm saying Kirk. It starts with Kirk. It's Kirk something.
It is Kirk.
What's his fucking name, you guys? Kirk.
I'm really typing.
It's not even coming up. I got the drink in my cup.
Yeah, drink in my cup.
Kurt Cobains.
Does that not sound like Kurt Cobain?
You guys, that sounds... I was so right.
She was. Kurt Cobain?
I have never heard about Kurt Cobain. I swear on my life, I didn't know this man's. Like, I do not know this man's. I thought Kurt Cobain.
Oh, that's so funny. I'm literally wearing his shirt today. In the band Nirvana.
Oh, he's in Nirvana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know who that is.
Yeah, you know the Nirvana band. Yeah.
Hella funny.
So that's the lead singer, Kurt Cobain. Kurt.
Literally.
Cobain with the C.
Like, I don't know who Kurt Cobain, but I know who Kurt Cobain is.
I'm actually dying at this transaction. I'm really, really amused.
Yo, why was that song? Anyway, I used to love that song. I got that drink in my cup. He was a one-hit wonder, right?
He was 1,000%.
Like 2-hit wonder?
Yeah.
Because I feel like he had another one, too.
I'm literally so crying about this.
Kurt Cobains.
Kurt Cobains.
His white name goes by Kurt Cobain. That's really funny. I know he has another song that's like good.
He does.
God, no. These are not the most popular ones. There's no way.
No, doesn't he have
Ho?
Oh. No hope? No, it doesn't.
No. Damn, I don't know any of these songs.
He was in that
He was in that song with that other dude, and it was like a
the slower one?
Yes!
I thought so too.
I'm gonna do Kurt Cobain's features. Drinking my cup. No, that's not what I'm looking for, Rich. No. Maybe that is all he had. What your name is.
I don't know why I thought he was in that.
Isn't that one dude?
I thought he was like in that.
It starts with the A.
Song or
yes, 2 a.m.
Right? I thought and them. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yes. Adrian Marcel. That was his name.
He's in it,
featuring
right?
Sage the Gentleman. Okay. Why did I literally think that they were in there?
So he was a one-hit wonder. For sure.
Why did I associate these same two songs together?
I don't know. I did too.
No, Kurt Cobain is in that song. I don't know how, but he was in there.
Cobain.
You know what they call it? They call that a fucking... What, you know when
the Mandala effect.
Yes, dude, I love you. Yes, thank you. My best friend knows.
Yo, actually, I'm not gonna get into it.
I would cry if you didn't know what I was talking about right there.
I know.
And that's how Kurt Cobain started. Thank you for coming.
I am deceased. Goodbye.
And on the third day, God named him Kurt Cobain.
God created Kurt Cobains, and Kurt Cobain.
Adrian Martin. This is getting crazy.
Oh my
the
gosh,
funny thing is, we literally just finished wrapping up a very spiritual, conversation.
About some deep shit.
And now, we just do both. If you're new here, hello. If you've made it to this part of the podcast, hello.
Subscribe.
We are very literally,
literally
subscribe.
Let's be
Hi, bestie. We gonna make you laugh and we gonna make you think. What else do you want? Like truly, what else? We gonna hype you up and we're gonna hold you accountable. Like, what the fuck else do people want?
I don't know. That's all
I'll be your bestie for the restie.
Right. I love that. Oh, so good.
And the earring
so
fell
good.
in. It's something. I don't know, you guys.
Something in the earring.
For the people that are here, I do have an earring on this side, but she's gone for now.
She likes.
But why can't it be this one? Because it's the one that's facing the camera.
I know.
Guys,
scandalous.
That's so scandalous. I'm gonna look like I have one earring on, like one of them. What does that mean?
Maybe you should put that earring in that one and see if it's gonna stick.
If you have an idea, if you suddenly get a vision of what this means for me, why does it fall? Let me know.
Comment down below.
Because actually, it's funny. In my culture, I know so many things, that like random things, and my mom would, the direct translation would be like, oh, in the olden days, the old schoolers would say, like, your ancestor would mean that, like, da-da-da-da-da. Like, one of the examples is when... you took off your shoes and you weren't thinking about it, and like one of them has it's on the other one. When you take off your shoes, it's sitting on the other one. That means you have visitors coming. That means someone's coming to visit you.
Oh, okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. Or let's say you crack open an egg and there's 2 yolks in there. That means there's really good luck coming your way. Yeah. And newsflash, last time I visited my mom, she was cooking breakfast for me, and one of the eggs had 2 yolks in it. And she was like, your time is coming, honey. I was like, thank you. And I was like, thanks. I'm so depressed. No, but it was great. Because my life did get better after that, actually. But yeah, that's funny. So if you know anything... let me know.
No, I actually want to hear also other cultures like superstitions.
Right.
Or, not superstitions, but things like that.
No,
you know what I mean? I would love to hear that. So if y'all got something, let us know.
Okay, you know what I was thinking? I think we need to create, or maybe just give them maybe we should create a whole new Gmail where people can send us these things. If they have a question, and maybe sometimes people don't always want to use social media or they don't want to... comment on YouTube, in terms of advice, questions we ask, about superstitions or whatever it may be, spiritual things that have happened to them, things like that. I feel like it would kind of be fun for people to have a safe space where they could just send it to us without having to send it via their social media profile.
Right, because also not everyone's on social media.
Exactly. So I feel like that would be kind of fun, and I'll probably create something like that, or we will together.
I like it.
And then we'll tell you about the email, so you guys can email it to us.
Yes. I like it. Thanks. Okay, you guys. So I found this cute little list. It talks about the sign that irritates you more than anybody else, but you love it.
Oh. Oh.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Okay, so Y'all ready for that?
I don't know if I want to be exposed like this. I'm scared what's mine going to be. I will.
Do you want to just start with yours?
Probably talk a lot of shit. No, we don't have to make it about me.
No. Okay. First, then.
Oh Jesus.
Actually, let's mix it up a little bit. I want to start with.
Yeah, let's do that. I think we always start from the beginning.
You know?
Yeah.
I want to start with Taurus.
Okay. Taurus.
Okay, Taurus, the sign that irritates you the most, but you fucking love it, is Sagittarius.
Yes. Are you kidding me?
Yes. I don't know what this weird, love affair is, but the interwebs will agree with it. There is some weird energy, strange loving between Taurus and Sagittarius.
Well, the thing is, I feel like both Sagittarius and Taurus, they like to experience things, you know? Mm-hmm. Taurus is that sensual sign, and while Taurus experiences things in their comfort zone, that doesn't mean that they're still not living for it. They're like, this food, this luxurious bath, this home, ooh, I'm experiencing it. And Sagittarius is very much like, I'm about to travel, I'm about to go have this experience out there, I'm about to meet up with this group of friends and experience that. It's very, I feel like, experience related.
Yeah.
And people don't think Taurus likes experiences because they're fixed earth, but Taurus loves them a luxe experience. It just has to be in the comfort of a space that they've probably been around. Or if they're going on a trip, it's going to be a very luxurious trip.
100%.
And same with Sagittarius. Like, you know, they love to travel and they like to do new things, but let's say their friends randomly come over and it just happens to be this random game night. They're like, oh my God, this is so fun. I love that I'm experiencing this.
Yes.
You know?
And also, can I say too, from the Sagittarius point of view, loving on Taurus, because it flips both ways, right? Where Sagittarius, Taurus irritates us, but we have this weird love and obsession for them as well. And I feel like they can create a beautiful comfort at home for us, which isn't necessarily always comfortable for us, and still playing off of the travel thing too. Again, bringing that comfort. I feel like sometimes Sagittarius will be very budget friendly, kind of just go with the flow type of travel planner. Yeah. And when they're with Taurus, it is more luxurious. It is more about that experience. And Sagittarius loves that shit too. Yeah. You know,
no, truly.
It's just a different vibe. And when you guys can vibe and meet together, it really is beautiful because the energy is like a yin and yang thing that you bring to each other.
I absolutely agree. And I think it's kind of like that the grass is always greener on the other side effect as well, of Sagittarius looks at Taurus, and while Sag is happy doing their thing, being free, not being attached to anything, sometimes they do wonder what it's like to be attached to things, to want that sense of stability. And for Taurus, while they are very comfortable doing their thing, and no, they're not going to feel FOMO because they're still doing their thing, I feel like sometimes they do look at the lifestyle of a Sagittarius. They're like, damn, I wish I could just let everything go and live a life as a wanderer. Yes, you know what I mean? Yes. And just make my own rules and, make it up as I go along. Again, I'm not saying that they're always going to do that, either one for the other.
They won't.
But they like looking at it.
Yes.
They appreciating it.
They admire that about the other.
Exactly.
And there are definitely things that will drive the other person crazy because fundamentally they're very different people. So different. But there is something that is very attractive to the other because it is opposite. Yeah. And it brings something new and exciting to Taurus, and it brings something grounding and solidifying to Sagittarius. It's so true. And it's funny because, we always say fire goes really well with air and it can go well with water, but I really like when there can be an earth element with fire because fire does need to be grounded in some way.
I agree. I honestly feel that way about a lot of elements. I feel like I know I do really good with earth as a water sign and other water signs, I feel like I need air. I feel like I need fire. to show me like what I'm capable of, and to show me that what I'm comfortable with isn't always going to get me to where I want to go. Like, that's so important. And to make me feel comfortable with that energy. I want to experience fire and air energy as a water sign with the people I'm closest with, rather than be thrown out to that energy with people I'm not comfortable with. That's why I love having air, you know, and fire sign placement friends, because it makes me comfortable with that energy. If I were to always stick with what I'm comfortable with, you know, water and earth, what am I going to do when the world throws me to a job where I'm surrounded with air and fire people, or whatever it may be, you know? Or sometimes we're born into families. I mean, sometimes I am. I'm literally born with 5 other siblings, literally, and my mom and my dad.
Fire and air.
When, you know, he was here, like, it was literally fire and air. Yeah. Me and my Virgo older brother were the only 2 people that were earth and water. So I got comfortable with that energy, and I feel like that's so important. You shouldn't always go based off of what is compatible traditionally. You should always push yourself a little bit outside of your comfort zone. And again, that's why reading birth charts is so important, because you have more than your sun sign. You never know why you're fucking with someone. You're like, you know what? Well, we're not really compatible. Or have you seen their birth chart? Do you know your synastry?
Right.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Check it out. Okay, so next sign. We have to talk about Scorpio.
I'm scared.
We have to.
Well, I'm scared.
Okay, Scorpio.
Because now I have to like think about like how I'm gonna relate with the other one. You're gonna catch my reaction real time.
The sign that irritates Scorpio the most,
and vice versa. Because that sign is irritated by Scorpio the most, right? But we can't get enough of each other. Is that what it says?
We love it.
Okay, but they love it.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Virgo.
Oh! That's the only one where I was like, don't do Virgo. Anything but Virgo. I can't.
You know it was going to be.
I hate them.
You know it. And they hate you. Like there's a mutual
they love us.
hate and love, because I feel like
no, we're the same. We're 2 peas in a motherfucking pod, except I wish they were out that pod. I wish you opened that pea and there was only one in there.
Twins that
literally
should be
I'm like,
separated.
ew, I don't know.
I hate my twin.
No, I get it. I get
close.
it. Virgo annoys the absolute fuck out of me because they don't know how to evolve. Like, they just... No, they do. They really just always stick with the motherfucking plan. And sometimes we need to let go of the plan. And it's truly. Like, why are you so judgy?
Okay, but why do you love them? Because it says that you love them.
I actually can't think of one reason. I can't think of one motherfucking reason. No, my mom's a Virgo moon. Like, I get it. Give me a minute while I think. No, I do love Virgos because I appreciate their sense of discipline, honestly. I really do. I do appreciate their sense of discipline, even though I feel like they can be fake as fuck sometimes with the fact they can. I feel like sometimes they be lying to people about like what's actually going on. And it bugs me. We're more so talking about why we fuck hate each other.
Why I hate them and why
No, I don't hate them. I appreciate their dedication to what they want, you know, out of life. And I feel like sometimes I am at a loss for words, which really does not happen often.
It doesn't. Let me come in. I think another thing.
I'm gonna call a friend. Maya, thing? Help me. Why do I like Virgos?
Another reason why I think you may like the Virgo archetype is because they also understand and respect privacy.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay,
it's something, you know, they understand that they want to like keep things under wraps. This is my team. This is my group. And we don't really move from outside of that, you know? Yeah. And Scorpio is very much that way too. It's like, you are my person. We are in this together forever. And Virgo is also very
dedicated
much
like that. No, they are. They are. I think, and if we're being 100% honest, what really triggers me about Virgo energy is how judgmental they are.
Scorpios really hate to be judged.
I hate to be judged, especially because I really actually go out of my way to not show people the deepest, darkest parts of me because I'm scared of being judged. And I have done that with Virgos in the past, and they ended up being absolute trash. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it made me scared to be myself during those times, because I felt like, well, listen, I opened up myself to someone that is very judgmental. Mm-hmm. So why would I ever feel comfortable with anyone else? Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not saying that's all Virgos, but I feel like Virgo energy, and my mom has a Virgo moon, you know, they have these high standards, and I feel like they don't give people a chance to figure it out on their own. Yeah. And it's a very, very scary feeling for a Scorpio who is already very hard on themselves, mm-hmm. and who more than anything wants to be perfect, and who doesn't want to show people the bad, dark parts of themselves. And I think that's why it's that relationship with Virgo and Scorpio. Like, we're very sensitive people, but we don't want to tell people about it. Yeah. And I think that's where that, like, initial attraction also happens, too. Like, oh, I see the way you carry yourself. Mm-hmm. Ooh, I see the way you don't let people get to you. Mm-hmm. And we see that in each other, and we open up to each other, because we think that, oh, well, we don't do that for everyone. So when I do it with you, it's special. So then when you kind of hurt each other in a friendship, romantic relationship, parent-child relationship, it hurts even deeper, because you know the other doesn't do this often.
Yeah, for sure. I think, kind of continuing off of your point, both of these signs give really great advice. Yeah. And I think, you know, maybe you can attest to this too. There's been Virgos in your life who've given you really great advice. And I feel like Virgos just are really great advice givers, but it can be very hurtful. And Virgo, that's where you generally can lose people, is in your delivery, or how you're saying it, right? But you can kind of flip it and say the same about Scorpios sometimes, you know, especially when they're angry. Like, y'all are so vicious, you know? And I think it's very similar that you both can have this very truthful, I see you like nobody else, but I can also cut you like nobody else.
It's so
true. Know? And that's also, I think, why they're like, I respect you, but like, I got to keep you a little far in some ways.
It's true.
Like, it could be a little bit of a toxic relationship if it gets vile between the Scorpio and Virgo.
Absolutely. I mean, one of my closest friends to this day is a Virgo sun, and like, we have told each other so much, and he's been there for me during a time where I feel like I had no one. So like, I know he's such a writer, but I also know, like, if I'm telling him something, he's going to tell me his honest reaction, and he's not going to sugarcoat it for me, because he knows that I will probably flip it back and be a bitch. Like, he doesn't care. So I feel like there is a sense of comfort in that, but because I feel safe with him. Yeah. And I know he loves me, and he comes from a loving place. Mm-hmm. I also feel like with Virgo and Scorpio, there is this attraction because we, like I said, you just know how hard the other works. Mm-hmm. And that determination, there is just something so beautiful about that. We don't give up. We don't.
These signs, they're really hard workers.
And we have attention to detail.
Mm-hmm. And they're kind of, I mean, to me, they're also like pretty humble about it. Not to say that that's always a good thing, especially in the sense of Virgo, but I feel like Scorpio is a very humble,
quiet
strong,
confidence.
Exactly. And when Virgos are operating at their highest power, it is still a strong, quiet confidence, because that's just how they operate. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And they are very similar in that way, in how they present in work, and just, I think, how they want to present in life. But when it comes down to it, and when it comes time to expressing their emotions, that's when it can get a little wavy sometimes amongst them.
That's when the power trip starts happening.
Yeah, power trip is a perfect word. I'll show you mine
if you show me yours, but I'm not going first.
That is a perfect word.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, it's Virgo and Scorpio, we know the power of showing your cards. Mm-hmm. And you can't build intimate relationships unless you show your cards, because you feel a sense of safety. Both of us don't feel safe often. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the relationship we have each other, we just feel like, okay, well, now I'm indebted to you and you're indebted to me.
Yeah. I was like laughing over here because I'm like, both Virgo and Scorpio put people through all the trials.
Truly.
Before they're like, okay, I will date you.
No,
before they say, like, I'm a date you.
No, it literally goes, I choose you.
You know? I chose you. Now don't fuck it up for the next 5 years before I officially make you my partner.
No, and I don't want that. Like, that's the thing. That's the thing.
And that's why, like,
and they don't want that either.
It can be bad for each other.
Both Virgo and Scorpio, they need someone who is softer, okay?
Yeah.
We're not soft to each other, you guys. We're not. We need to be softer to each other. And again, for some Virgos and Scorpios, that may work. And it's all about your birth chart.
Yes.
But I genuinely feel like it's probably better at a friendship than a romantic thing.
Yeah.
Because you need to create a safe space for a Virgo in order for them to be less judgmental towards themselves. And same thing for Scorpio. And sometimes I feel like it's really hard for Virgo and Scorpio to hold that safe space for each other.
Yeah.
Because we know how tough the other one is. So we kind of push them over the edge.
Yeah. I think you were kind of speaking on it earlier too, like just the expectations that they have for themselves and then they have for the other because of how they know how they operate.
Exactly.
It's like me, so I hold you to a higher standard.
Literally.
And again, all of it can be super, super toxic. It can be really
power thing.
It is. It can be such a power play, and I know that these relationships work, but also I'm like, oh my god, if you're toxic, like it can be such a bad power play, negative relationship for sure.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, no one notices more things than a Virgo and a Scorpio.
Yeah.
Both these signs are very observant. And I don't know
if you need all that attention.
If you need to be that attentive to your partner that much. You kind of need to let them do their thing, but a Virgo is staring at the Scorpio is staring at the Virgo. We're literally watching every little movement, and we're going to bring it up at any little moment. And that's just toxic. That's toxic. That's not okay.
Yeah.
And again, this isn't about you and your Virgo partner. It's not about you and your Scorpio partner. It's about these energies together. It can be toxic, but also I feel like there is that appreciation for the other's sense of dedication.
Right.
And privacy, like you said. Those two things are just, you don't get it like a Virgo and a Scorpio.
100%. And again, we're making the assumption that there would be some type of challenge or some type of dispute, right?
Exactly.
Because we're saying, if you're actually listening, there's about 10 things that we said are perfect and aligned really well with each other.
Literally.
Right? It's a matter of who you are, and if you are a competitive person, if you are a jealous person, right?
Yeah.
These factors kind of
and if
sometimes
boundaries
linger.
were crossed at the beginning.
Exactly.
Okay. Now
People
you feel like you didn't make it fair.
There's a tit for tat thing going on. It can just again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I thought it was a very fun
I feel
episode.
like this was a fun
I had a grand old
episode.
time.
Me too.
I hoop y'all had a grand old time.
I think they did.
Grand old time.
Grand old time.
Grand old time. Talking about the Kurt Cobains.
Bestie for the resty.
Yes. Okay, we're going to link our socials around here.
Have a beautiful freaking weekend. If you're listening, don't forget to leave us a review on Apple, Spotify. If you're watching, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, share with your friends. Come back next time because we're probably going to start off your weekend right.
Yes.
We love y'all so much. We'll see you next week. Bye.